Good day, good evening, depends on what time you'll be listening to this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Motivational Drive, where we bring you powerhouses, men and women that make great impact, great entrepreneurs, people, great professionals that are making a huge impact within their society. You know, today I'm with a very great, phenomenal gentleman, Mr. Magagane. You know, he is a medical doctor, a very great gentleman. A lot of people have viewed profession as, I don't know how to say it, but they make it sound like it's so boring. Hey, everyone wants to be their own boss, you know, this thing of working for someone. But, you know, I've been with Mr. Magagane, and it's someone that enjoys his job to the fullest. And, you know, he's one of the people that's very successful within his industry, very successful, great gentleman, you know, actually traveling so much, actually about going to USA in a couple of days, then China, you know, multiple homes, very successful. So what I'm trying to say is you can be successful even within a profession. Don't adhere to these sayings that say, you know what, everyone needs to work for themselves, you're working for someone, you suck. So today we'll be just talking about success, you know. Mr. Magagane.
Yes.
You know, I admire you so much, you know. So how did you discover in terms of being in the medical profession? How did you venture into the medical profession?
Firstly, you know, when you grow up, you have your own dreams. You know what you want to do. Sometimes based on what you see on TV or what you hear people saying on street or what the parents advise you. But I think, to me, it's one of the things that the medical profession is one of the things that I like, apart from the fact that I had relatives. Cousin brother was a doctor, and he happened to be my role model. I happened to like everything about him, so I had to like the profession also for the sake of liking him. So that motivates me to really like the profession. And from my high school, especially late high school, grade 9, grade 11, grade 12, I was determined to get the results, the points, the marks that I needed in order to grant the access to study medicine. So that's how I had my dream, straightened to the medical degree.
And you know, talking about looking at someone and just saying, you know what, I like this gentleman, I love this lady, and whatever she is, I want to be. So it boils back to being a responsible person wherever you are, the way you conduct yourself. Because it happens to me so many times, just like someone, there's this person that you just admire the way they conduct themselves, the way they are.
Yeah, I think it comes back to in fact, it looks like there's no person who can be himself without another.
Yes.
So we learn and get built from other people. So we look for good things. We look for people who are practicing good things, things that seem to be online with what we can be able to do. We try to follow their footsteps and work hard towards the same direction that they took. So because it looks like you can come with your own. It's possible, but that's why we read books. It looks like we are learning from others and implement from what we have learned and improve on what we have learned. So I think the men who came with the story of role model realized that people will be built by learning from others.
Yeah, so what's the importance of a mentor? How would you say, on a scale of 1 to 100, on which level is this, the importance of having a role model, someone that mentors you?
On a scale of 0 to 100, it has to be on 100.
Wow.
Because there's a theory that they have, even in science they have it, that, I don't know if I can say it in science, those who do physical science knows it. They said an object will continue on a state of motion until it's acted on by external forces.
Oh wow, oh, I love that principle.
So,
can you say it again?
An object will continue on its state of motion until it's acted upon by external factors.
So
which means
until you have a mentor from external, you'll always maintain the same pace.
Exactly.
So if you want to accelerate or have a different, you need an external.
You need an external factor that will lift you from your current position.
I like
even in nature, they said everybody's good until he encounters something. Everybody's kind, good. If you find a rude person, it's because something has happened along the way of life. But then what I'm saying is that you can't be great if you're not following the steps of a great man.
Oh wow, I really like that. And you are a very great man of God. You are also a man of God. So which means, according to our faith, one of the greatest men that we model is actually Jesus Christ. That was actually one of the greatest model that we once lived.
Yes,
you know. So I heard you mention the importance of reading books. Is there any book that you're currently reading, or your latest, the book that you last read that you can recommend?
I read lots of books, motivational books by John Maxwell.
Oh, I love John Maxwell.
They tend to give another dimension of, another impression about life. I think the tone of his book is more like building people mentally and spiritually. So one has to grow in mind. You have to move from seeing smaller things, smaller self, into bigger things, bigger self, from smaller businesses to bigger businesses. So those kind of books, they've got an element of making you want to improve or want to move from your current position. It creates some sense of discomfort from where you are. It creates a hunger for better things and improved quality of life.
That's true, and I'd actually be a testimony of that, because my life changed rapidly. So when I started being exposed to motivational speakers, when I started being exposed to business seminars, when I started hearing external people, and then it really moved me. That's why you realize that, you know what, there's more to life than what I'm actually surrounded by.
Exactly.
When you read people like John Maxwell, they stretch your leadership. So can we expect a book from you?
With time, I need to grow in that area.
Oh wow.
Because, you know, it's not about writing. I can write a book, but you need to have a lot to put. It's not for the sake of writing.
No, not at all.
Let me get more experience in life and let me put it down.
I love your humility.
More
experience.
It will be very relevant by the time.
How many years have you been practicing?
Over 10 years.
And then you still need more experience. Studying for being a doctor is, I think, 7 years, if not mistaken.
Exactly.
Plus 10 years of being practiced.
17 years in there.
Listen to the humility. You still needs more. I love the humility. So if there's one thing that you'd love for someone watching this from at home that says, you know what, I one day want to be a medical doctor, I just want to be where you are, travel the world, just want to have the success that you have, is there any message that you have for them?
Yeah, you know, everything comes not by copying others, by discovering who you are.
Wow.
Because everything becomes easy if you do the things you like. If you will want to be a doctor for the sake of other reasons, you'll get bored. You'll be the crook kind of a doctor.
Yes.
You'll be a different. You won't bring difference. So my advice is you need to find it within you that is the right thing to do. Everything that you do it with your will and passion, it tends to be rewarding. And everyone who does it often comes without an effort. You don't have to work hard or to kill yourself to do this for you to get to a better position or you to be successful in your career. It's just what comes out of you always brings back something.
And you know, that's one of the things that we don't learn at school. Actually, John C. Maxwell mentions it a lot. Operating on your level of strength and not your level of weakness. Because if I were to go home and say, and my parents would check my report card, they would say, look, you're failing your math. You need to dwell more on your math and then increase your math. But actually, John Maxwell says, you know what? If you're failing your math and you're great in science, says focus more on your science, because you realize that's your level of strength. And I think that's where the different philosophies of school and life works, because in life you need to focus more on your strength.
Yeah, but as far as I'm concerned, I think I wouldn't agree with both of them. because I just think you need to focus on what's inside you.
Yes, your passion.
You might, for example, being dreaming or wishing to be a doctor one day, but you're not doing well in science, you're not doing well in mathematics. But that should not kill your dream. I think you need to find ways to get to where you want to be. Because at the end of the day, you cannot, if you depend on your strength might not be the same as your desires.
Oh, wow.
You might be too strong in boxing, but you don't want to fight people. You might be just good with soccer, but you don't want to play soccer. But there is always that thing that you want to do. And that's what you need to cultivate. You find ways, find tricks to win it and get it. Because once you start doing what is part of you, that's when I think most successful people, they get successful because they are doing what they are. They are transposing who they are from within. It's different for somebody who will work for money, you know. If you do this and this, you get money, but it's not what you want. Number one, there's no joy in work, and you'll end up doing shortcuts.
That's true.
You want to quit, or you want to cheat the system and get rich overnight so that you get out of that and get something new or get something that you like. So always, I think it's a good advice to find something that you really like and do it against all odds.
Wow. Whatsoever your hands find to do it with all thy might and all thy power.
Exactly.
I love that. Is there any social media platforms that people can get you? You told me just prior to the interview that you're...
I'm still working on it.
Okay.
I don't have any social.
Oh.
I have Facebook, but I'm not active.
But people can find you at church, right?
At church, yes.
Okay. The name of your...
Maranatha Church in Guyana, section
okay.
D2.
Okay.
Yes, that's where.
No, that's where you can find. I'm sure you'll get filled with plenty of motivation and inspiration. As for myself, I really was inspired. I'm actually continuing to get inspired as we're on our way actually to Joburg, continue getting inspired on the way. Ladies and gentlemen, as you've heard Mr. Magagane say it, that you know what, you need to operate and do things from your level of passion. Do what you love and the money will follow. Don't pursue the money, you know. Thank you so much, Mr. Magagane.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, they can't continue learning more as myself learning on the journey. Do you wanna put it on sports mode for them?
No, it's fine.
No. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Do subscribe to the show. If you love what you just listened, do drop a comment, like, and share to inspire others. Till we meet again.